Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it. This is another episode of Healthy Discussions, and today's topic we're doing a reaction video on Valuetainment when he interviewed Stephen. Now, who is Stephen? I'll show you who Stephen is. Stephen is a YouTuber that we all know in the YouTube community. He has over 760 million views. This is Stephen right here. That's Stephen right here. But Patrick had a great question for Stephen. This is Stephen right here. That's Stephen. But Patrick asked him, "Are you gay?" Now, this is Stephen right here, but look at some of his sponsorships. What's that? 3 million from McDonald's sponsorships. So there's certain things he can say and he can't say, and there's certain things that he must support. But let's go to Valuetainment. Let's go to Valuetainment.
So if you have to choose which of the two things to put in school, and you have to have one of them, which one will it be? You ready for this technical question?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's start it again.
Would you rather have your kids have to learn about God and pray every morning and do pledge allegiance to the flag, but they don't get LGBTQ learning, all the different sexes and all that stuff? Or would you take God out of school and add they have to learn about what it is to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, trans, and they have to know at an early age because it's part of us being free and not being discriminatory? Which of those two would you want your kids to learn about, and you have to give up the other one?
No, I feel like there has to be a balance because you don't want
Whoa.
let's say your kid is gay.
Whoa. You feel like it has to be a balance. You don't want to be oppressive. That's basically saying you don't want to be an adult. You don't want to be a dad. You don't want to be a accountable mom. That's what you just said. You're going to allow someone that's uninformed, a kid, easily manipulated, easily influenced, right, to make a decision on their body, on their sexual preferences at that age? Why are they even focused on that at that age? They should be running around somewhere, falling, getting back up again, not programming them to think how you or mainstream media wants them to think. Patrick has a point. The point is this: everything is learned. Everything is a learned behavior. It's nothing that you learned on your own without being influenced, right? Everything is a learned behavior. So just as much as in school, they told you about pledge allegiance to the flag, they told you about religion and everything else, we learned about those things in school. That's one reason why I created this merch right here. Crossed out schools because it's an indoctrination camp. Churches too is an indoctrination camp. Just focus on your purpose. Point being, because you're sending your kids to school, right? You as a parent, how much time do you really spend with your kid? The internet, school, they spend most of the time with your kids. More time than you do, which means that they're going to be picking up behaviors from these institutions. So Patrick makes sense. Stephen, we know, right? You may be. You just might be. But I want it to come out. I want you to let the world know, or eventually, or whatever the situation may be. If you are, then say that you are. If you're not, then say that you're not. But based on your comments, based on the question that Patrick asked you, you're gonna let the system tell your kids what to do. Also, you're the type, you're going to allow your kids, instead of being to discipline your kids, you're gonna give them right and say, hey, call the police if you don't agree with what your parents are doing. Hey, if you want to change your sexual identity, you don't have to tell your parents. You can come tell us, tell the laws or the enforcers, right? And then we go about it. Why would you transfer power from the parents to the kids to somebody else that don't care about your kids? They really don't. Because if they care about your kids, they wouldn't allow transgenders to go in the bathroom with your kids. Because statistics shows, right? More than 75% pedophiles, more than 75% of pedophiles are transgenders. Let me repeat. More than 75% of pedophiles are transgenders. So why would you allow them to go into the bathroom with your child if this is their normal behavior? Now, I don't have anything against them, but advocate for your own restrooms. I would say that. Like, we don't support it over here, go over there type of thing. Like, your choice, your thing, your vibe. You do what you do, but do it on your time. Don't try to do it on somebody else's time or influence another group of people, the innocents, to do it. Look at the books that they're making now. Kids' book about sexuality. What do a kid need to know? They don't need to focus on that. They need to be running around, falling and playing. Being kids, learning. Not learning how to be a messed up adult. Not learning how to be a messed up adult. Okay, let's get back to Patrick. Patrick and Stephen. Let's get back to Patrick. Because I myself, I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it when he asked him. But look at how he asked him, and he broke down, and he got an answer up out of him by the series of questions you asked. He put his back against the wall.
2 things to put in school, and you
Let's
have to
run
have
it
one
again.
of them. Which one will it be? You ready for this technical question?
Yeah.
Would you rather have your kids have to learn about God and pray every morning and to pledge allegiance to the flag, but they don't get LGBTQ learning, all the different sexes and all that stuff? Or would you take God out of school and add they have to learn about what it is to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, trans, and they have to know at an early age because it's part of us being free and not being discriminatory? Which of those two would you want your kids to learn about, and you have to give up the other one?
I feel like there has to be a balance because you don't want to be oppressive, or let's say your kid is gay.
You basically saying you don't want to be an adult. You don't want to take the leadership role and telling your kids what they can and can't do. That's what parents do. They tell you what you can and can't do. It's a reason why they tell you that. It's a reason why. He don't want to be oppressive to the kids. Okay, for example, look at the structure of the Indian family, which is one of the most wealthiest families in the world, right? They surpass a lot of people. I believe that they're number one. Look at how they run their family structure. You're not leaving this house until you get married. That's the first thing. You're going to go to school for science, tech, engineering, and math. That's the second thing. You're going to crowdfund and live with your family until you can go out and save and multiply, right? Their structure, some people may think, oh, Indian parents, they're on their kids. But I think it's a good thing to be on your kids because they're kids. Look at the kids that no one is on. Have they ever made the best decision? Aren't they paying for decisions that they made without the lack of fatherhood or motherhood or parenting? They pay for those things. How they think in the future is affected by how they was raised. So I do not agree with Stephen on the fact that allow the kids to be kids. What world are you living in? I'm never allowing my kids just to be kids. I'm the parent, you're the child. In that order. Nothing else. And it should be that way. Your child should not have more power than you, more rights than you. But if you look at the laws and you look at the bills that they're passing, they're setting it up. So now your kid can dictate your whole household based on the fact that the law supports it. Comment down below if you see what's going on. You can't even discipline your kids anymore without, oh, your kids having the ability to call the police or authority? Why are you involving a third party into something that they don't need to be in? You're giving too much rights to the kids. See, that's the same thing that happened with women's rights. It's the same thing. Watch what happens. It's counterproductive to the whole economy. That's all. No one's talking about it, but it's actually counterproductive. You have to play your role. You have to abide by a certain thing. You don't see the CEO trying to do what the secretary is doing. It's roles out here. Just as much as you don't see adults trying to do what kids are doing. So why do you want to see kids do what adults do? Let me repeat it. Why would you want to see a kid do what an adult do? Let them be kids. Stephen? Question mark?
Them to feel like they can't be accepted and they can't be themselves, but at the same time,
what?
There's got to be some sort of.
You got to pick one of them.
Yeah.
You got to pick one of them.
Don't get caught in the middle. You know, you have to stand on what you believe in. Take your position. Don't get caught in the middle. Because, Stephen, it seems like your name should be Malcolm. You love playing the middle. Why? I don't understand why you play in the middle. You have sponsorship, millions of dollars from all over. It's certain things that you can and can't say. So I totally understand that. But still, as far as respect, you're losing that drastically. Just among men.
Come on, Graham.
I don't know, man. I don't.
See, that's a problem. But that's a problem.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's a problem is the following thing.
Big problem. I agree with Patrick. Comment down below if you know that's a problem.
No.
Big problem.
What do I need to do to convince
Yeah, I was listening.
Did y'all see that? Y'all didn't see it. He asked him this straight up.
Are you gay?
Straight up.
Me? No.
And then they had the nerves to put it black or white, like, this is the truth, nothing but the truth. Look at his friend. His friend Faith. This was priceless to me. This was priceless. Look at his friend. Look at his friend.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's a problem.
And I respect Patrick for being direct. You have to be. You have to be
Are you
nowadays.
gay?
Me?
Look at his friend. Did you see his friend laugh? You're not, but yet you don't want to. You say that you're not, right? But your action shows that you just might be. Because you're not trying to offend the party that sponsors your lifestyle, your YouTube views, your sponsorships. So you are being controlled and you're being told what to do. See, that's what happens when you get big enough or bigger, then now they tell you what to do. So at a certain point, you have to put a cap on it. Like, this is what I stand for. This is what I'm gonna do. No one else can take my values away from me. But some people get tricked with the money. And Stephen, you may have gotten tricked. And tricks, they ain't for kids.
What do I need to do to convert
Yeah, I was listening.
What do I need to do to convert you into being gay?
I don't think you can.
You don't think I could convert you to
Listen
being
to
gay?
the reverse
I don't think so.
psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me
Patrick
ask you
is
this.
onto something.
Who converted you into getting a real estate license?
I did.
Who influenced you though? How did you learn about real estate?
Saw a TV commercial for $1 million listing. That kind of got in my mind.
And you were influenced to be a realtor. You
Listen,
weren't born with wanting to be a realtor.
Correct.
you was
Bingo.
influenced.
Yeah.
Got you.
Did you get it?
He got you. He got you. Stephen, he got you. You was influenced to being that real estate agent that you are. You was influenced to do YouTube. You were influenced. So take yourself outside that shoe. Put a kid in your shoe now, for example. Aren't they influenced to do everything? They influenced to walk around with their pants sagging. They influenced to listen to the guns and violence and drug music. They were influenced to do these things. They don't think about doing these things if it's not presented. So someone is doing an incredible job at the presentation. Can we find out who's sending out these presentations, please? Can someone CC me in it? Because I have a problem with them. I have a problem when you're telling the kids how to think, the innocent how to think. I have a problem with it. And I'm going to stand on it. I do. I think that they should be free because they are the future. So basically, you're programming the future to think a certain way. No. The future is the future. It has its own way. Why are you trying to interrupt natural order? You want more guys over there, more girls over there, more misidentified. I'm him, I'm he, I'm she. I may be identified as a pencil tomorrow, and the next day I may be a plant. I may be a dog on the next day. See, just because it's law, it don't make it right. You have man law and you have nature law. I think we have gotten so far away from natural order and nature law that we're trying to see if men law works best. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't never working. It's never going to work. Because what's out of order is out of order. What's out of service is out of service. What's not aligned it wouldn't be. But let's continue.
Let me explain to you what I mean by this.
Sure.
He got him though. He cross-examined him. He got him.
That shows which
good cop, bad
generation
cop. He got him. Patrick just got
is
him.
the gayest generation of all. As part of the LGBTQ community. Do you think you care more about what I think at this age or when you were 14 years old?
Definitely 14.
No problem. Me too, right? So, do you think it's easier to convert you in a way of thinking at 14 or 33?
14.
Of course.
Of course.
Right. Okay.
Easily
I became a
programmable.
Christian because somebody talked to me about it.
Right.
I got into insurance because somebody influenced me to get into insurance. Okay.
Right.
I got into bodybuilding because I was influenced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I went to Santa Monica Community College because I was influenced because that's where Arnold went. Influence. Somebody influenced you, right?
Schools and churches.
4 generations. 5
Indoctrination camps
generations.
to influence.
Traditionalist. You got the
Awesome.
boomers, millennials, Gen X,
Purpose.
and you got Gen Z. You ready? Traditionalist, 0.8% of are gay. 0.8% of traditionalists are gay. Boomers, 2.6%.
These are the
Then
facts.
you go
Give me
to
the facts.
5%. Then you go to 10%. You know what percentage of Gen Z identifies as LGBTQ? 21%. 21%. So who do you think cares less about what you and I think? Traditionalists or Gen Zs? Traditionalists. You think if you and I are 70 years old and we're gay, do you really think you and I care about what other people think? What do you think? No. You're coming out. You ever seen a grandma or grandfather drop F-bombs and it's like, get your butt out of my... Because that... Yeah, listen, I'm 10 years away from living and dying. Like, I don't give a shit what you think about me. But if 21% of Gen Z is gay, they're being influenced just like you were influenced to be a realtor, just like I was influenced to go into SMC.
I agree with him. The problem is the influence. Who are sending these? Who is pushing this agenda? That's the problem. It's a reason why it's in school. It's a reason why it's in the movies. It's a reason why it's in the kids' film. It's the reason why it's in cartoons. Somebody don't want your kids to have a future. That's how I take it. Put a comment down below if you see it in the movies. You see it in Simpsons. You see it in what's these kids shows they watch? Peppa Pig. You see it in Mickey Mouse. All these narratives, it doesn't add up. It doesn't program you to become the best that you need to be. It actually, to me, they're spreading a mass amount of misinformation. They want the future to be confused, right? They want the future to be confused. They, and when I say they, people are like, who do you mean by they? The people that control what's going on. Like, you don't have most of the control. You don't own food, energy, and control and print money daily. That's what I mean by they, the actual system. So when I say they, it means directly the system. That simple.
That's a problem. So the fact that you, a very smart guy, a super successful guy at your age, cannot tell the two apart, that means you're not really putting a lot of thought into what's going to influence who. Because
It means that he really don't care. He doing it for the money. He has no principle or no spine or no backbone. It means that he's easily influenced and easily tricked. That's all that it means. It means he cannot stand on his square as a man. It means he cannot get hit in the chin and take that hit in the chin. He can't. That's what it means. It means he's doing it for the money because he has no position. Like, I have a position of what I stand for, what this channel stand for. Promoting real information. Real stream media. This is what it stands for. Letting you know what's going on. Schools, that's over with. College, that's over with. You have the internet. And those principles are running out. Those indoctrination, those programming is obsolete. You no longer need to be programming school anymore if it doesn't make sense. Engineer, science, math, anything that helps out the economy. Don't go to school for you, go to school for the world, things that will help out the world, right? Churches, we all know, that's a mass confusion. That confuses us all. You have the Muslim fighting the Christians, the Christian fighting the Catholics. It's like, you separate these things for what? For control, when no one truly knows. So let's just stick to your purpose. Because that's the only thing you can do. What are you going to do for the world to make it a better place? That's ought to be your purpose.
God, faith, that's going to influence you to do what? Complete different thing.
Don't you think that some of that, though, is a bit of that overall people are on somewhere on a spectrum? And if you're, let's say, a 2 out of 10.
No, people
or
ain't on
3
the
out of
spectrum.
10,
You may be
if you're
on the
shopping
spectrum, Steven. Ain't nobody on no spectrum. You can't place your position on what you think. It means that you have no power. You have all that money, all them views with no power. You have no power. You basically saying whatever they say goes, not what you say. So what's the point of you making your channel?
Other generations you weren't, and perhaps it's somewhere in the
Program
middle.
people to do the same
I
thing?
think LGBTQ is a religion. And you choose which religion you want to be in front of your kids.
That's true.
Okay. You choose.
That's
if a
one
person
reason
is
why I
gay.
tell, look, he said LGBT is a religion. Yes, it is. It's a cult. It's a way of doing things, just like churches are. LGBT, you might as well have it. Well, they actually are in every church. If you notice what's going on. That's why I started looking at church a little differently. I said, churches are a business. They gotta be, because every church I see, all over, maybe except for the Muslim church. Catholic Christians, though, all I see is gay pride signs, rainbow flags. But if you read the Bible, they tell you that you're not supposed to support that. So I'm confused. That's when I said, oh, it's a business. They need their tax write-off too. They need their funding as well. Oh, I see. It was all a business. Stick to your purpose.
You're eventually going to be gay. You're going to be gay. You're not going to be, if you're going to do what you're going to do. Like, for example, I interviewed a guy who was a negotiator, FBI agent, who would sit down with people that killed, that
He's
were,
gonna be a killer then, if you said
murderers that killed their own family members. And I said, so what gets somebody to get to the point of wanting to do something like this?
program.
And he explained how there's a difference between what you're born with, what you're influenced with, and then to take the action, right? There are some people that are born who are dark human beings, period, that they enjoy it. They're born that way. You know, if you look at the Iceman, I don't know if you've ever seen interviews of the Iceman. Have you ever watched interviews of Iceman?
Yeah.
That guy is cold, and he enjoyed what he did. What percentage of the world is like that? What would you say? 0.1%? Okay. So, are we going to say, no, he was influenced to be that way? There had to be a darker person in his life to get him to be that dark. No, he's born that way. Okay. Are some people born gay? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. But if we take 1,000 gay people,
Some people are.
what percentage of them are gay? Because
Some people are. You can say, so you can argue that and say some people are born that way, right? But it's all a choice, though. It's the same thing as how you born isn't, or how the story begins isn't how it ends, generally speaking. Or you can change the ending of, your life, your story. How you may be born in poverty, yay. After that, you might find that you tell a story to your riches. You know, so I agree with Patrick on this one.
What percentage of them are gay because they were influenced to be gay, or life influenced them to be gay? That's a real question we have to talk about.
But most people, you can't say that you was born that way to the masses. It's a percentage of people that might genetically be that way, right? That's a minute amount. We're not talking about the masses here. The masses are influenced to do that. They're influenced to do these things. That's why it's being promoted. In fact, that's what we're talking about it right now. Because we have to talk about it, because if we don't, it's like we're just seeing a wildfire and we're just letting it happen. Put that wildfire out.
Be just attraction. Who are like I am attracted to certain people and a certain type. I'm not attracted to another type.
No problem.
So I feel like that would be the same thing with gender. It's like if you're
different,
attracted to men or women, that would be
Graham.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to learn how to give a blowjob to another boy at 11 years old?
No.
That book is in schools, recommended teaching by many teachers in America. Do you think that's a problem?
Sure.
Do you think it's a better
Oh,
usage of
my
our time
God.
to learn how money works?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as, I'm gonna piggyback off what Patrick said too. Because y'all remember sex education in school, don't you? We all had to take it. But one thing I remember, and it always stuck with me, and I said, well, if it's sex education in school, and you're supposed to wait until you get married to have sex, isn't the sex education classes promoting sex? This is why. So if you're promoting sex, you're not promoting marriage. You're basically saying you're promoting the skip steps, I'm not gonna go through the full process type of thing. And what did they hand out to you in these sex education classes? They said, you know what? If you decide to have sex, it's okay. Just make sure that you use what? Protection, condoms, Trojans, all those things, right? You remember? And we all dug our hand in that bowl and we got a pocket full of condoms, didn't we? And we was proud. I went home and I said, Dad, I got a whole bunch of condoms. I didn't know better back then. But now that I look at it and I said, they promoted you to have sex. They sold you sex, and that's what happened. They did. They told you it's okay to have sex, just make sure that you use protection. When they should have said, it's not okay to have sex until you find the right person, right? And then rightfully, you won't need protection. What are you protecting yourself from, right? You only have to protect yourself if people do things out of the ordinary, right? So I always thought those sex education classes, it promoted sex. It promoted the wrong way of life. And now as you get older, you look back and say, damn, I should have got married when I was 19, 20. It's because you was programmed to say, hey, I didn't have to get married at 19, 20. Why? I can just have sex. And safe sex at that. But is it really safe? Because I don't think it's really safe. Yeah, you might be having fun. But at the end of the day, it's irresponsible. Because nothing is coming out of it. When you have sex, something's supposed to come out of it. You're telling them it's okay to cheat. Like, you don't have to be married, you don't have to vet your partner. Just go ahead and try, and if you do, make sure you just use protection. Weird, isn't it? Put a yes in the comment if you agree with that statement, and put a no if you don't agree. What did you learn in your sexual education class? Did it influence you to have sex? Because I'm sure, like, right after you learned that, like a year or two later, like, you had sex. I'm just saying. Can we talk about it? I just want to talk about it.
Or how to please another boy at 11 years old. Right. So then you have to decide your values and principles between the two. I think these values being taught to kids, are kids typically more liberal or conservative? Liberal. Liberal. Are you kidding me? I'm all liberal. Like, let's try drugs. Let's try this. Let's break the law. Let's break this. Hey, let's
Very
sneak
much so
into the
liberal.
swimming pool and have the cops chase us. Hey, let's test this out. We're liberal, right? So we don't need to teach more liberal policies to kids. They're gonna do shit. We're gonna do stuff. We need to balance it out with what? With this, okay? So now watch this. Do you think rich, greedy people who have a lot of money, do you think they need to be taught more conservative stuff or more this stuff? Liberal stuff. What do you think? Do you see how this is working out? So to me, it's the other way around. I think we've mixed it up. So
Everything is backwards.
be understand. This guy's 28
Everything
years old,
reverse
he's gay.
engineered.
No problem. I got plenty of gay employees. I have plenty of lesbian
Yeah,
leaders
we're not
in my
saying
company.
that.
Plenty of them.
And let me make this
see
just
how
for the record. I have no problem with whatever preference you choose to be. My problem lies in when you're spreading your preference, right? And the laws are making preferences to attack these kids to tell them this is what you should be. It's as if you don't have a choice. Let the kids have a choice. That's my stance on it. Just as much as you have a choice as your preference, allow the kids to have a choice, right? Don't enforce your way or push your way upon them. Because you're looking like the bully. That's what it's looking like. From the kids' book to the movies to reality, TV shows, XYZ. You're looking like the bully, the aggressor here. So allow the kids to have a choice because that's our God-given right. We was born with the ability to choose. Don't interrupt or influence their choices. Because that's all you're doing. You're programming them from it. Once it's in a kid book, you got to understand something's wrong. And put a comment down below. Let me know the name and the title of that book because I'm going to do a video on that book soon.
Relationship is with them. You chose to do that as an adult. Salute. A couple of them were here yesterday. Just watch how they hug me when they see me. We love each other. We have an incredible relationship.
You're right.
Then later on, we need to learn and say, hey, man, can you be a little bit kind to these people? Dude, relax. They just see things in a different way than you do.
Right.
All good. I think we need to give conservative values to kids when we're liberals. And I think we need to inject a little bit of this when we're older, successful, to be a little bit more understanding. I think the education is out of whack.
It is, very much
You
so.
know, maybe the LGBTQ stuff can be taught.
You said the education is out of whack. Yes, it is. Schools, it's out of whack. The principles, it's out of whack. Everything is out of alignment. And these main things right here, put a comment if you agree if this is out of alignment. Put a comment if you agree and think if this is out of alignment. The only true thing that needs to be in alignment is you and this. That's it. This is basically all you have. You don't have this. You don't own it. We don't run it. We just learn. This as well. But this is your choice. And make this count. This right here. Make it count.
People that are older to be a little bit more gentle to them. But that's why you're asking a question. I'm going to go back to it. God is one of them. What's being taught in school is one of them. Not enough money, finances is one of them. The way we turn.
See? That's why I made this product right here. He already told you God was one of them. That's why I made this shirt, because I understand the problem. The problem is the programming centers. God is one of them. School is one of them. The problem is the programming centers. College is one of them. Still think it's school. It's still considered school.
Our heroes and who the hero making machine is in America is a problem. Today we recognize complainers.
Yes.
Today we recognize who posts more naked pictures on social media, gets the most likes.
That's true.
Today we recognize that more than somebody like you who's responsible, makes his own money, works his tail off. You seem very kind, you seem humble, you seem likable, yet you're doing your research, yet you're willing to talk to people. Mm-hmm. So we've confused kids on who the hero today is.
Yeah,
oh my God,
that's right.
Person, look at this.
I must agree with them. We celebrate the problems and not the solutions. We celebrate the problems and not the solutions. So yes, I will agree with Patrick The kids are highly confused right now. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They're lost.
And they came out of the closet at 14 years old. Let's do 28 articles on them. But that 14-year-old kid who made $28,000 independently, it's whatever, it's not a big deal. But let's highlight this person. What are you doing? Which one do we need more for society? More people coming out of closet, or more 14-year-olds that are making $28,000 on their own? We're turning the wrong people into heroes, and it's confusing the F out of kids. So to me, those are things that we've been doing that's kind of messed up America.
Must agree. I agree with that one. Let me know, comment, subscribe, like, share this video. Let me know what you think about this video. I'm going to put a link to Value Entertainment so you guys can check this video out. I give credit when credit is due. Fair Use Act. I'm just reacting to this video to push my point of view because we're on the same path. Patrick, we're on the same path. We understand the same principles. We're on the same path. On that note, smash that like button. Hit that share if you care. If you don't care, put a thumbs down and let me know why. Peace, love, and blessings to all.